Hello, my Zentangle friends. This is Barbara Langston, CZT, Certified Zentangle Teacher. Welcome to Not Perfect Zen. And today I'm going to do another one of the Gratitangles because this is the month for gratitude. And I'm grateful to be doing this again. I actually did this video yesterday, and this is the title that I did, but I failed to do one setting correctly, and so it did not record what I was doing here. So we'll do it again. And the patterns that I'm going to do, this is antique, and it's actually the pattern for today, November 13th, in the Gratitangles. And I'm going to also put Bales with it, a version that I did. And I really had fun with this video, and I'm sorry that you missed it. It was really unplanned, and I just thought, well, let's try it. And I thought it went really well. I'm going to do a gray tile. Mine are 4 inches wide by 4.5 inches tall because I put them in this binding system. And there's always a link to a video that I did to show how I do that. Today I'm going to get off my beaten path and do a little bit different. I have a blue Micron 01. I'll probably use a jelly roll. This is a General's pastel chalk pencil, and I thought I might use that instead of just the graphite pencil. We'll be using a white pastel chalk pencil and tortillons, blending stumps. I have, since I'm going to use this blue chalk pencil, I usually have a lot of different blending stunts, and I mark a color on there so that I try to keep it for that specific color. All right, let's get it started. I want to show you on the pattern Antique, which is by Kathy Barringer, CZT. It's really pretty simple pattern. I've done it before, and you're basically going to start with a line and then aura it, and I'm going to use this as kind of a ribbon type border. It's a pretty ribbon. So the easiest thing for me, and as you can see in this, there's different variations of what you can put here in the center. This is the basic pattern, and sometimes the little circle here can be bigger. There can be two. So you start with your little orbs, however far apart you want to do them. Okay, and then put your little rice shape. These may be a little bit long, but we'll see. Okay, and then we're going to put another rice shape. We're going to curve, touch that border, and then come down. And we're going to try to make that little tip be about the same as where that orb is. Bring it down. Okay, and in her basic pattern, she does each one. Okay, again, we're going to come up, come down. Okay, this one is a variation where you would come from this direction and then bring your little petals up and touch that one and then come back down. My hands are cold and I feel like I'm not drawing very well. It is, to me, cold in my house because it's below 70 degrees. And that's just how I am. Okay, and we put these little lines inside. All right, so that's how we're going to do that one. We're going to do it this way. And we're going to start by putting our borders, these two borders on here. And I'm going to start with pencil. So again, mine is 4 inches wide. You can do this on any size tile. And I'm going to try to make this square, so measuring kind of with my pencil to see how far I went and if this is close to the same. It seems to be. It'll be close enough. Okay, let's bring this down a little square. Okay, so now I'm going to use my blue Micron 01 and go ahead and ink this in. I really like how blue looks on these gray tiles. I get my paper from Dick Blick. It is Stonehenge paper, I believe. Very close to the paper that Zentangle uses to create their tiles. It comes in 22 by 30 inch sheets, and it's a job to cut it, but I like to save the money. Okay, so now I'm going to do another border inside here. Yeah, I really wanted to get this video out yesterday, since this is the pattern for today, but it didn't happen. Obviously. I used this to decide how wide I wanted my border, and I wanted it to be about the same as what I have here. So about that far. So, trying to see how I could show you. Well, about that far. I'd say maybe a ½ inch. Okay. No, that's pretty close. So now I'm back to my blue. And then I'm gonna put the inside border again. And I'm not worried that it's not perfect. We're just looking for the Zen, not the perfect. Okay, I'm going to get my eraser. Okay, found it. My grandkids love to play with this kneaded eraser. Just going to erase the lines very lightly. All right, so that's how it starts. And I found yesterday, and again, when I did this tile yesterday, I had not done this before. And so I was just guessing how it would work, and it worked out fine. So we're going to put some circles in each corner and then try to evenly put the circles in between. So let's start with one in each corner. Just try to put it in the center. And I do need to zoom in. Okay, so now I want to put 3 dots here. So I want to find, approximate center here. And then the center between these two. Okay, and then same thing on each side. So find the middle, and I did not get it perfect on that other tile, and it still looks fine. I had done this border in the past, this pattern antique, and I did it this way, and it ended up looking like birds. Mine did. And so that's the first thing my sister said was, hey, that looks like birds. So I wanted to try it this way this time. And like I said, I really like how it turned out here. So we're going to start in this corner, and we're going to put our little rice kernel. And then I'm going to do my next petal. Bring that curve around till it is kind of in the middle there, I guess. Looks like it went a little bit past. That's okay. And then bring our other one down. All right. I definitely did not get that spacing the same. So now we're going to have this one come back this way. And we're going to bring this petal down until it meets the tip of this one, and then bring it back. Okay. Same thing on this side. Bring it up until it meets that one, and then bring it back down. And this one's going to go the opposite. So now we're going to go back in that direction. Again, we're going to bring it about to where that circle is and come back. And then come in this direction. Touch the tips and go back. Okay. And then we're going to turn. And this will look better after we get the shading and the other stuff on there. And I was not watching the screen. I hope I stayed on for you guys. This one takes concentration for me. Okay, and then in these corners, I just added one more petal. It goes up like that. Okay, so now we're going to do our next little kernel between here. These petals are going to come down and meet these. Go back. Down. Mine tend to get better as I go. I think my fingers are warming up. All right. And I'm anxious to see how this will look if I use the blue pastel pencil. I don't have a full set. That one looks odd. But I do have several colors because they have come in the Zentangle project packs. Okay. Just keep going. Again, we're going about where that circle is. I watched a Melinda Barlow video recently where she said the same thing, that she had done a full video and then found out it didn't work. So I felt her pain yesterday because I had really enjoyed what I did and thought that it had been informative, and was especially excited because I really had not planned exactly how that tile was going to go. But now I know it worked and I can show you again. This makes a pretty bookmark also, to do a ribbon like this going all the way down the bookmark. Okay, this one's going up. And then last one. And then the petal in the corner. Okay, so now I'm gonna go back and put those lines in. I'm trying to come up with some Christmas tile or Christmas card ideas. Okay, I hope I'm staying on the screen. You could, where I've done these lines, you could use a different color. I'm going to go ahead and just use what I have. And I'm just very lightly touching my pen down here. And they're a little bit wiggly, which is what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for perfectly straight line, just a little bit of background between these. And this is not in her step out, but I saw this variation when I was first learning this pattern and really liked it. So again, I'm just barely touching my pen down on this paper because I don't want the emphasis to be on this. I don't want really dark lines. While I'm doing these, I want to, because this is a month of gratitude, say that I'm so very grateful to those of you who leave such awesome comments on my videos. They are good for my heart and a great motivator because it makes me want to do more videos for all of you. And very big thank yous and appreciation for those of you who have donated support for my channel. I appreciate it so very much. I used to go to classes where they would put a love offering jar out and people would just put like a tip in there, and that's what this is for me. Gratitude and love offering. I appreciate it so much. Okay. Almost done. I really like just simple line drawings, like paradox and things like that, because they're so meditative. That's where you really get into the Zen. Okay, so we have the border finished, and let's do the inside. I'm going to add a little line there. This is Bales by Zentangle, and this is the basic pattern. And if you've done any Zentangle, you've probably done Bales. You probably did it on your very first tile. And this is a version that I did on a Christmas tree. Let me show you that too, that I was playing with. And let's zoom out a little bit first. So there's just a very simple tree. And I like how when you do it on a colored tile like this, that you can use the white chalk and put some highlights on it. So that's what we're going to put in the center of this tile. Very easy to do. And I think I'll do mine the same that I did on this tile, kind of on the diagonal. So we're going to do a line straight across, corner to corner, and then just make this as big as you want. Okay, then I'm going to turn it. It's just easier for me to follow another line if I'm looking at it with my pin on this side. Okay, and now we're going to go across the other way. Try to get my lines square. Okay, so Bales, the way I usually do it is I tend to start in the middle, and then we'll just put our lines on each side going down. I'm going to do them all in one direction, and then I'll turn my tile and put it in the other direction. And when I did that Bales on that Christmas tree, I don't think I've ever seen it done that way before. And it was one of those what if moments. I wonder what it would look like if I just did it like this, and I liked it. So just play with it, just have fun. And I did that Christmas tree with Lindy's Magicals, and I just loved how the color turned out. And so I got out a big piece of watercolor paper and put that same color all over it, and it just did not look the same, but it still looks good. So I'm going to do some more of those trees and might do a video for that. Super easy though. Bales is another one of those. It's very easy to do, easy to remember. And if you can't think of anything else to put on a tile to fill in a space, this one's great. And there's a lot you can do with it. Just like with this, you can put that in the center or not. You can, I've put floors in the center, and that's what I started to do. And then I thought, no, let's try something different. And I liked it. So we're going to put a dot in the center of each of these. Okay. And then to make our lines. Okay. I think I'll do all the lines that go in this direction and then turn the tile. You do what's best for you. But I think my lines are more consistent this way. And you don't have to watch me flip my tile. Okay. Turn it. And this is really going to pop once we start putting the shading on it. The icing on the tile. Okay. So, did I miss anything? Maybe not. Okay. I'm going to come back and add a little bit more to the center of each of these, just to give them a little bit more connection and drama. And then we're going to do our shading. If you just have a white tile, that's fine. Use your black charcoal pencil or graphite pencil, sorry. I am going to use this one, and I need to sharpen it just real quick. I just dumped my stuff on my table. But it helps to have a sharp tip. Okay. Now I have a sharper tip. And I'm going to go in here and just add some of this blue to the center of each of these flowers. I'm just kind of doing an X in there. Just to add a little bit of shading there in the center. And again, this one that I'm using is indigo blue. General's pastel chalk pencil. And I think I got some of these from Dick Blick because you could go in and order pencils individually. And I have an art store nearby that sells pencils and pens individually. So I'm not exactly sure where I got this one. It may have come in a Zentangle project pack also. Okay, again, I'm just putting a little at the center of each. I'm going to come back with this one, this blending stump that I have marked for blue. And I'm just going to pull it in toward the center on each. But I'm not going to go all the way to the center. I really like how the blue looks on this gray tile. Just went a little bit far on that one. Okay, I'm trying to keep the middle, like I said, without a lot of color on it. And then I'm going to come back with my white chalk pencil, and I'm just going to put a little line of sparkle on each of these, just softly. And I'm going to go in this one direction, and then I'm going to turn my tile and do the other part of the flower. Trying not to miss them. Okay, looks like I got it. Now on the other side, we're going to do the same thing. I remember when these gray tiles first came out, I was just in love with how the blue looked, the blue and the white, and how it adds that special shiny look. Okay, and I'm not going to go back over that with tortillon or blending stuff, and just use your fingers to brush off any excess. I'm going to leave it just like that. Okay, the other thing I'm going to do, and I want to get this center done before I do this outside part, is I'm going to add color right along this edge. And again, if you're using a white tile and your graphite pencil, you're going to do the same thing. And I have seen where people come back and put the graphite down also. But for this, I'm just going to stick with the blue. I'm going to get my blending stuff and just soften that. I'm trying to not leave a white spot between where I put down that charcoal and that border. I don't want to leave a space. This looks kind of odd if you do. Sometimes these pastel pencils leave some residue, so you can just kind of blow it away. Right, I like it. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing on each of these petals, just down at the base. We're going to add some color or graphite. So we're going to do that just at the bottom of each of these. Let's put just a tiny bit of color here at the top too. Not much. Okay. And with this pastel pencil, because it's so dark, I don't want to put too much. You can come back with the blending, or I'm sorry, the kneaded eraser, and remove some of that if you think you get too much. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and soften these so you can see how it's going to look. Just pull it up gently. I want it to stay dark at the bottom. Okay, just a little bit here. I like how that looks. Okay, just keep doing that. Try not to make this last too long, but you are welcome to fast forward or pause at any time. That's what I like about watching videos, is you can do it at a rate that's good for you, or speed. We are going to come back and put some white in there. Okay, I'm going to go up the other side. And this is a very simple tile, but that's what I like. I really enjoy the fantastic detail that some of these artists, Zentangle artists, put into their tiles. I really like following Annika Gabrovet. I'm not sure that I'm saying it exactly right. Zen Linea, Z-E-N, and then L-I-N-E-A. I absolutely love her work. And I've taken some of her classes on Skillshare. But generally, I like to color my tiles and then just put the patterns on top. I think I'm kind of lazy that way, but that's what I like to do. Trying to figure out color stresses me a lot. Even though I use a color wheel, I somehow just never feel like I've gotten color combinations looking good. Anyway, this tile that I did here looks kind of brownish, almost like a blush that a lady would use for makeup. And it was leftovers from the last bit of Lindy's Magicals that I had used for some tiles. And I thought that one was going to be ugly, but it actually turned out kind of pretty. And I was so happy with that video yesterday. I'm so sad it didn't work, but you got this one. The thing is, when you're doing a video like this, you don't know until the very end. I use Zoom to record my meetings and use my iPhone as a participant. And the camera is focused on what I'm doing. And anyway, if I don't get the settings just right, like yesterday, when the meeting is over, I have to wait for the video to process through Zoom. And then I go and view it. And of course, yesterday, as soon as I viewed that video, all you could see was my face talking, not my hands. So I'm sorry. But like I say, the frustrating part is I went through the whole video and was happy with what I had done and what I had said, and was anxious to get it done because then it has to be edited and put onto YouTube, but I didn't have time to redo it because of babysitting. But it's okay. It was good practice. It's not time wasted. Usually I try to really plan things out. That one was not planned. It was impromptu. Okay. I'm going to wipe that out. And I didn't do this yesterday, but let's put a tip of blue on these. I didn't do that. Okay. Okay. And then just a little bit of white across each of these. Not sure how I'm going to make this look. Just a little bit across each petal. And it looks really bright on my computer screen, but it's not that bright. And I do this blending stump says white, but it has some dark on it. So I'm going to clean that off with a nail file. And then I am going to soften that a little bit. It looks fine on my tile. It looks really bright on the screen. So I'm just going to put a little bit of highlight on each petal. And then soften it. And if you're doing this on a white tile, then this white won't work. And I apologize for that. You know, if you have cereal boxes or brown grocery bags, those can be cool colors to work on. I actually do look at boxes before I throw them away to see if they're usable, but I also have sheets of paper from the Dick Blick, the big 22 by 30 that are craft paper color, which is a darker brown. Okay. Trying to do kind of in a circle so it's not a harsh line. I really appreciate the work of some of the Asian artists. I just love looking at how much color they add and how beautiful, how gorgeous. But this is what I do. Okay, cool. Some of those look a lot darker as far as the white. I'll try to even that out. Like I said, on my tile, that white is not bright at all. In fact, it's dull. But on your video, it's going to look pretty bright. And I'll probably go back and soften that before I take the photo for the video. All right. So the last thing I'm going to do is get my jelly roll and make sure it's working, and it is. And I'm going to put a white dot in the center of each of these. I'm just going to try to make that dot about the same. It may not be exactly what the dot was originally, but I'm going to make them all about the same size now. You can see that one's kind of small, but I'm going to make it a little bit bigger with this. And like I said, on some of the patterns, there's 2 dots here. There could be a little bit bigger. All right. There it is in blue. And I sure hope this video worked. I enjoyed it. I'm going to add my chop. I think I'll put it here. And that is for BBL. All right, there you go. So that was my 2 versions of Antique and Bales. If you do this, Kyle, please add the Gratitanglez hashtag. If you enjoyed this, please hit the like button. Subscribe to my channel if you have not. And if you're so inclined, would appreciate your support of my channel. There is a link in each description to the coffee, ko-fi.com. Thank you very much for joining me again. I appreciate all of you very much. Not sure what the next tile will be, but I will see you next time. Thank you. Have a great weekend. Bye.